Hello, my name is Carol Troy, and I'm going to describe the paperwork that students must complete in order to enter the ICIC contest. The ICIC paperwork is not difficult. However, there are some details you should be aware of. In this video, we will cover the process step by step. Under ICIC rules, a project can be submitted either by one student or by a team of students. To keep things simple, throughout this video, we will use the term project team to mean one or more students working on a single project in preparation for the contest. Viewers should keep in mind that over time, the ICIC requirements may change. Sometimes the ICIC staff may find it necessary to adjust the details of the application procedures. Obviously, when there's a small change to the paperwork, we won't re-record this video. Instead, we will change the application forms and instructions available on the ICIC website. Please take the time to download the most recent documents and read the instructions. There are two deadlines that every project team must be aware of. The first is May 6, the final day for submitting the application form. The second is June 3, when the finished projects are due. Let's take a look at the downloadable forms and instructions. Then we will describe in detail the paperwork required at each of these deadlines. To access the downloadable materials, we will use the information packet, which contains the forms and instructions needed to meet both deadlines. The information packet is available on the ICIC website at icic.thu.edu.tw. There are download links in two locations. The first is on the home page. Scroll down to the ICIC publicity poster and the links will be on the right. The second location is in the participants section of the website, which can be accessed from the top menu bar. There are two versions of the information packet, high school and university. Although these versions are similar, they differ in a few important details. Make sure that your team downloads the right information packet and submits the correct forms. This way, you can help the ICIC staff avoid misunderstandings. We will know which applications come from high schools and which from universities. We will also know how many high school and university projects to expect. By the way, the authorization sheet and application form can also be downloaded individually from the home page. Scroll to the Important Dates section, and the links will appear on the right. Both forms are available in Microsoft Word and PDF format. One way to save time is to type the needed information directly into the Microsoft Word document. Occasionally, the ICIC staff may update the forms in the information packet. Before submitting the application form or authorization sheet, please check the website and make sure that you are using the most up-to-date version. Let's look inside the university information packet. It contains three documents: the authorization sheet needed for the June 3 deadline, the application form needed for the May 6 deadline, and the fact sheet, which provides basic information on contest rules and policies. Let's examine the paperwork due on May 6, the first deadline. We can scroll down to the application form right here. There are 4 sections. The first describes the project team. The first item is the name of the university that the student members attend. The second is a table containing the name of each member and some contact information. Any project group can have a faculty supervisor, a teacher at the same university attended by the students. Section 2 asks for some details concerning this supervisor. The fields include the teacher's department, job title, Chinese and English names, phone number, and email address. If the project has no faculty supervisor, this section can be left blank. Section 3 of the application concerns the project. At the top, there are a few basic information items, including the project title, format, and content category. At the bottom, there is space for the abstract, which summarizes the project content. Note that the abstract is required. Ideally, it should summarize the purpose, methods, and results of a finished project. However, the team may submit its application before the project has been finished. In this case, the abstract is like a proposal that describes the expected results. Note that the abstract is limited to 300 words. This length limit is important because the abstract must be short enough to display on the ICIC website. Finally, Section 4 is for addenda. Here, the project team can optionally raise any special concerns not covered in the first 3 sections. Here is an example application form filled out by a fictional project group. For clarity, the information entered by the applicants is shown in blue. Section 1 shows that this imaginary team consists of 3 students from Taiyuan University named Jerry Tao, Nadine Tang, and Harry Tian. Section 2 shows that this team has a faculty supervisor named Jasmine Cun, who belongs to the International Business Department at Taiyuan University. Section 3 describes the project. The first item is the title, Project versus Exam, the impact of required activity type on work habits among undergraduate management majors in Taiwan. This is a research project, and it will be presented in poster format. Here is the project abstract. It describes an imaginary survey conducted among students in 2 sections of the introductory management course. Section 4 is blank, indicating that there are no special issues the team wants to point out to the ICIC staff. Note that in this example application form, the team has completed all the required information in sections 1, 2, and 3. Your team members should also provide complete information. Enter each member's student number, full name, English and Chinese, phone number, and email address. If there is a faculty advisor, provide all needed information on him or her. Fill in all the requested project information. Please do not leave anything out. After filling out the application form, the team should send it to the ICIC email address. As shown here in the instructions, the subject line should be ICIC 2024 University Project, your project title. So here's what the application email message should look like, assuming that Jerry Tao, the first author in our fictional group, is the one who submits it. The subject line is ICIC 2024 University Project, Project versus Exam, the impact of required activity type on work habits among undergraduate management majors in Taiwan. The application form is attached as shown at the bottom of the image. In this example team, Jerry was the one who submitted the application form. Therefore, neither Nadine nor Harry was supposed to submit one. Likewise, in your project group, only one team member should submit the application form. Here's a summary of the example we just considered. There's a 3-person student team consisting of Jerry Tao, Nadine Tang, and Harry Tian. This team has a faculty supervisor, Jasmine Cun. The students and their supervisor are all affiliated with Taiyuan University. Now let's consider a different situation. Imagine that the 3 team members do not all attend Taiyuan University. The 3rd member, Harry Tian, is a student at Yunfeng University. These 3 students are doing the project together, even though they are at different universities. How should the team apply in this case? As explained in the application instructions, if the project group members are affiliated with different universities, then please fill out a separate application form for each university. Submit the forms together to icic@thu.edu.tw. So, Jerry's team should fill out 2 applications, one for the members at Taiyuan University and the other for those at Yunfeng University. The first application form should look like this. Section 1 lists Jerry and Nadine, the 2 members who are Taiyuan University students. Section 2 lists Jasmine Cun, the faculty advisor who teaches at Taiyuan University. Section 3 contains the same project information as before. Section 4 contains a message stating that the faculty supervisor, Dr. Jasmine Cun, recently left Taiyuan University. Jerry promises to submit a revised application form when a new advisor has been chosen. The second application form looks like this. Section 1 lists Harry, who is a student at Yunfeng University. Section 2 is blank. The faculty supervisor, Jasmine Cun, is listed in the first application form, which is for Taiyuan University, where she is employed. Since she does not teach at Yunfeng University, her name is left out of the second application form. Section 3 contains the same project information as before. Section 4 has been left blank. Let's imagine that once again, Jerry is doing the paperwork for the group. Jerry will send both forms to the ICIC email address. Here is what the email message should look like. Both application forms are attached to the same message using the same subject line as before. When the ICIC staff receive Jerry's email, they will review the application and send him an acceptance or rejection. Suppose that the ICIC reviewers find the project title and abstract interesting and decide to accept the application. Jerry will receive an email response from the ICIC staff informing him of the acceptance. Under ICIC policies, this message will be sent only to Jerry. It will be Jerry's responsibility to share the news with his teammates, Nadine and Harry. In the acceptance email, the ICIC staff will assign a submission number that uniquely identifies the accepted project. The submission number for this team's project is U-2024-101. Jerry should definitely remember this number. The team members will need it when they fill out their authorization sheets. Also, Jerry will have to use it if he corresponds with the ICIC staff in the future. Suppose, for example, that the team wants to change the project from poster to video format. Jerry has to ask the ICIC staff whether this change will be permitted. So he sends a message to the ICIC email address with the subject Requested Change of Project Format U-2024-101. By including the submission number in the subject line, Jerry is helping the ICIC staff process his request efficiently and accurately. Now we can turn our attention to the June 3 deadline. This is the main deadline for the project contest, when the project files and authorization sheets are due. A project team will not receive detailed instructions on how to submit the finished project until after its application has been accepted. However, before that time, the team still knows what files to prepare. A poster project will include a poster image file and an MP4 explanatory video file. A video project will include only an MP4 file. The purpose of the authorization sheet is to ensure that all contestants understand the terms of their participation in the ICIC contest. Therefore, a signed authorization sheet is required of each team member. This contrasts with the application form, which was a one-per-team document. Let's look at the details of the authorization sheet. On the very first line, the contestant should write his or her school, name, and submission number. The contestant's name can be in either English or Chinese. However, it should match one of the names that appeared in the team's application form. Here is how Jerry filled out the top of the authorization form. He wrote his school, Taiyuan University, his name as stated in the application form, Jerry Tao, and the project submission number, U-2024-101. The authorization sheet is organized into sections, each discussing a particular point regarding the project contest. Sections A, B, C, and D concern the most basic factual information, including the purpose of the contest and the date, location, and schedule. Section E states the basic terms for participation. Each contestant, project team member agrees to do the following. Number 1, read and understand the content of all ICIC information updates, which will be sent out by email before the contest. Number 2, arrive at the Donghai campus by 9:00 a.m. on June 19. Number 3, attend his or her assigned project session in person, present the project, and engage in Q&A as outlined in the pre-contest email updates. Number 4, attend the morning keynote speech and afternoon awards ceremony. Number 5, abide by any additional instructions from the organizers during the event. In addition, the contestant understands that number 6, his or her project will be publicly displayed at the assigned project session and on the conference website. Number 7, he or she can participate in the contest free of charge. Section F concerns the project eligibility standards regarding originality and content. The contestant affirms that the submitted project meets the following criteria. 1. It is original work done by the project team. 2. It was newly created for ICIC 2024 and has never before been made publicly accessible online. 3. It does not infringe on the intellectual property or other rights of any third party. 4. It conforms to all applicable copyright laws. 5. The contents of all video projects conform to YouTube community guidelines. Section G, the Hold Harmless Agreement, requires students to recognize that unfortunate events affecting them as a result of participation in the contest are not the responsibility of the conference organizers, the International College, or Donghai University. For example, none of these parties are liable for an auto accident that a participant experiences on the way to the contest. Section H is the photo, video, and audio recording release. It holds that the organizers may freely use video and audio recordings, notes, and other records of the ICIC 2024 contest for publicity and other purposes. This includes images, recordings, and transcriptions of things said by specific contestants. Section I is the designation of emergency contact. The contestant should provide the name and phone number of an individual, such as a family member, whom the ICIC staff can contact in the event of an emergency. Section J is the signature of agreement. If the contestant is at least 18 years old, then he or she should sign to indicate agreement to the terms and conditions in sections A through I. If the contestant is under 18 years old, then a legal representative must agree on his or her behalf. This legal representative can also authorize the IC staff to seek medical attention for the contestant in the event of an emergency. Let's look at the bottom of Jerry's authorization sheet. In section I, Jerry designated his father, Zhiming Tao, as the emergency contact. Jerry provided his father's cell phone number as required. In section J, Jerry indicates that he is at least 18 years old. Therefore, he can sign the form for himself. He signed his name and dated the signature June 1, 2024. Let's look at the authorization sheet of Jerry's teammate, Nadine Tang. At the top, Nadine has entered her school, name, and submission number. Further down, in section I, Nadine has identified her aunt, Meiling Tang, as her emergency contact. In section J, Nadine says that she is not yet 18 years old. Therefore, Nadine has asked her aunt to be her legal representative. Meiling Tang has signed and dated the form twice. The first signature indicates acceptance of the terms and conditions for contest participation. The second signature authorizes ICIC staff to take Nadine to a nearby hospital if a medical emergency arises. Now let's go back to the submission process. Each member of a team is supposed to fill out and sign the authorization sheet. However, to make the process more manageable, the ICIC staff ask that the members not submit their authorization sheets individually. Instead, the team should choose one member who can send all of the required files, including the project files and authorization sheets together attached to one email. Furthermore, the email subject line should include the project submission number. These two requirements are stated right here in this note, which you will see at the end of the authorization sheet. The note asks that all required documents be attached to the same email with a subject line that includes the team's submission number. Since Jerry was responsible for submitting his team's application form, let's assume that he will take care of the June 3 paperwork as well. Here's an image of Jerry's email. The needed materials, including the poster file, explanatory video file, and authorization sheets, are all attached. Jerry has the right subject line, ICIC 2024 University Project, and then the submission number. In conclusion, the paperwork for the ICIC 2024 project contest involves two major deadlines, a May 6 application deadline and a June 3 deadline for the authorization sheets and finished project files. The application is a one-per-team document that provides basic information on the student team, the faculty advisor, and the project. The authorization sheet is a one-per-contestant document verifying that each team member understands the terms and conditions for contest participation. A finished poster project will consist of a poster image file, JPG, PNG, or PDF, and explanatory video file in MP4. A finished video project will consist of an MP4 file. After an application has been accepted, the team will receive two pieces of important information. One, a submission number that should be used in subsequent email communications with the ICIC staff, and two, detailed instructions on how to submit the finished project. The examples that we presented in this video all involve university student applicants. There are only a few differences for high school students. In place of the university information packet, the high school information packet should be used. The submission numbers may begin with an H instead of a U. Instead of university, the keyword high school may be needed in the email subject line. Thank you for watching the ICIC Project Contest Orientation. We look forward to seeing you at the ICIC 2024 Project Contest.